my god. Oh, whoops. Okay, let's see if this will work. Hold on a second. All right. Hey. Hey guys, so tonight I'm just going to be in-betweening some stuff for a client, and this is something that needs to be done by Wednesday, so I have a lot of work to do. It's 1:43 a.m., so I'm going to be up pretty late. I've been just making notes for just these in-betweens. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I'm in-betweening some stuff right now for my friend. And he already cleaned up the main key poses. So right now I'm just trying to fill in the in-betweens for this. Okay. So we're going to just go right at it. Feel free to ask me some questions here and there. I'm only going to be streaming for an hour, so I'm not going to be up for too long. So I've been, I have a totally new approach when it comes to in-betweening. So nowadays, instead of just trying to in-between lines, I've been just going in an order where I get the silhouette first to see if that works. So Daniel Lopez Lima said, have I watched the Rhino the Red Bill animated shorts? No, I have not. Oh, what is that line? Is it here? Okay, at least it was down there. I actually have the chat on a separate window compared to my Wacom. So it's kind of easy. I just look up and I briefly look at it. But because I'm doing non-creative work, so just the labor of just in-betweening, then it's easy for me to switch it off. No, I'm not a Christian. This is a Wacom 22 HD. If for people asking about my tablet, it's a Wacom Cintiq. I had it since 2012, actually. I got this during my third year at school. I've never heard of that gnome meme. I'm doing okay. I'm just helping a friend out in between some of his drawings. I'm not going to be here for too long, but I definitely need... I'm giving this open space to sort of like answer questions besides animation software or how to learn animation, because I get that all the time. So which tablet is best for a beginner? I would say just get your hands on what you can afford. Wacom definitely is a brand that's like recognized within the industry. But if that's not affordable, then XP Pen and Huion, they're great. But you also have to think about, if you're worried about color, because some tablets out there, like the more budget ones, don't have the best color calibration. But I don't really pay attention to that too much because color isn't really an important factor for me. Honestly, I'm gonna try and hopefully do a review on instead of using a display tablet. So a display tablet is the one with the screen. The one without a screen is just a normal graphics tablet. So I haven't used those in years, and I want to give that a shot because I used to have a boss that she would just draw on a normal like Intuos or a graphics tablet, and she prefers it over a tablet with a screen because it's better for her back. This is sort of like a in-between session right now. How hard is it to get into the animation industry? I don't know. I mean, the thing is that like once you get in it and once you've made a network of all the relationships you've worked with, it gets easier to find work. People know you by name, recruiters know you by name, so when they are looking for board artists, they already have a database for that. But as a student, I don't know, man. I mean, it's been such a long time. Since I was someone who was relatively new in the industry and always had to like prove myself, but I can only imagine that it got harder because so many people are now trying to break into the industry. When is the short film coming? Oh, the proof of concept with Dusk's Flight. That's gonna come hopefully mid-October. But the thing is that I still have so the animation, the colors, and the compositing, it's basically done already. The thing is that I need to repaint or just replace all the 3D layouts of the backgrounds with painted images so that it just doesn't look bad. And then I'm going to have to get an original track. I'm actually trying to work with Denny on that. So for those who don't know who Denny is, he did the music for my previous films like Crayon Dragon, Wolfsong, and Tiny Nomad. So he's going to do the music for this proof of concept. But the bulk of the work is done. So now it's just going to be like finessing and just doing the thing it's already picture locked is what I'm trying to say. Time lock and picture locked. Yeah, networking does help, but I mean, that's not an excuse to not do good work. So keep building upon your portfolio, keep making your own, keep working on your own personal projects, and really invest in that. A book I'm not sure if I would write like a book like Animator Survival Kit or a storyboarding book or like a how-to book. Because I can already do that in video format. In terms of like writing, I would like to actually go into comics and graphic novels. Animation just takes too much time, and I do like writing worlds and stories, so I think that's something that I might actually consider writing for like graphic novels or actually making a comic and really exploring my writing chops. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to like making your own producing your own stories and you have a big story to tell and you don't really have a team, I don't think animation is worth it at that point. Unless you go for a very limited production value. But if I wanted just to do like my own animated stuff, I don't think I'm gonna do it alone anymore anyways. It's just so much work. Hey, hello from LA too. What are my thoughts on AI art and its possible market uses in the future? I think there's potential. I do think AI is a fun tool, and it does help. Like, the results have been fascinating. I do like AI art, but I don't like how it's being used by, researchers or tech bros. And just like how there's this claim that it's high art when all they've done is really just type in a prompt and like spend hours typing a prompt just to get that original AI prompt. And the thing that really annoys me about the AI art community is that they're also purposely taking the work of artists who are against AI and I don't know why they're doing that, but they're basically purposely teaching the AI how to recreate a certain artist's art when that artist has already expressed how much he does not like AI. So for them to keep doing that, there's such a level of disrespect that I don't really agree with. One can argue that they're doing it for research just to see how the legal system works and, to provoke an artist to sue them. But, I don't think that's the right way to go doing about it. Any tips for keeping consistency and form in animation? To keep flipping. So notice how instead of just like tracing or drawing in between the lines, I actually like go back and forth between drawings just to see how things feel, because with lines alone you can't really see how things change in spatial depth. And another one is to think about like accents. So notice how like I'll look at points or angles and I'll just like mark that, okay, that's gonna be a sharp angle, so I'm gonna pay attention to that as I flip. And then I'm just going to really see, okay, here's a change in angle, so that's an accent. There's an accent here, so it's going to be a curve here, and then go there. So again, a lot of flipping. But in terms of like spacing, like slow ins and slow outs, then you could use an exposure sheet. I mean, no, sorry, not exposure sheet. A spacing chart or just charts, and the chart looks like this. So right now I'm doing a slow in, meaning that this is slowing down. Man, honestly, all my like slow scenes have wiggly lines, but that's also because I'm not super precious about my line art. But it does take a lot of practice. Hey, Pixel Flicker, it's been a while. I hope things have been good with you, man. But yeah, I mean, I would say just like keep practicing your strokes. Make sure they're a lot more confident and just have a better grasp on it. I think like going out and sketching has actually built my line confidence like crazy. Like it's easier for me to put down lines without second guessing. I still second guess, but not as much as I used to. Did you learn under Professor Brown? You mean Steve Brown? Yeah, I mean he was my first year life drawing teacher. If that's what you're asking. If Professor Brown is the one that you're referring to, Steve. John C. Is TV Paint worth it? I've been using TV Paint for a long time now. I think the first time I used it for a film was for Wolfsong. And then I've been using it since for Tiny Nomad, for the Dream Bandits proof of concept, for the City Secrets. But I don't think it has a large community compared to, let's say, Toon Boom Harmony. Without Toon Boom Harmony or Clip Studio, I think there's a bigger audience for the bigger user base for that compared to TV Paint. And that's also because TV Paint doesn't really update as much compared to those other programs. And you know, most of the industry, so the anime industry uses Clip Studio, and then most American or Western productions uses Toon Boom Harmony. For TV Paint, it's really just for TV Paint, it's really a lot of French studios use it, but a lot of 2D productions use TV Paint because it feels good. Oh shit. Wow, Steve Brown actually uses some of my videos for his classes. That's crazy because I feel like we're in like very different sort of mindsets. Well, when I was there, but that's really nice to hear. I should probably reach out to Steve Brown someday. Hey, good luck with the BA in Ireland right now, Pixel Flicker. Would you recommend animating on paper as practice? If you have the resources, go for it. I definitely learned a lot from animating on paper, and it made me more decisive, and it made me plan a lot more before I even started animating. So it is a good skill to build, but only if you have, you know, the resources, because getting a down shooter, an animation desk, some peg bars, animation paper, and all the tools that you need for it, and a light table, it's a pain in the ass. So I would say go to what is accessible for you. Like, you know, there's a lot of great animators who don't really animate on paper at all, and just you know, learn from free animation softwares. So have I considered CS Clip Studio Pro as a good animation tool? Someone said I heard a lot that it has a bad experience. I don't know. I mean, I've only tried it a few times, and I think I have to really sit through it and make something out of it. But a lot of anime studios use Clip Studio Pro, and a lot of people, because a lot of anime productions use Clip Studio Pro, people have been getting into Clip Studio Pro. Yeah, I think that's what they were talking about, Lionel. I was trained by Steve Brown for life drawing back when I was a freshman. And then my second year life drawing teacher was Johnny Gomez, but I don't think he doesn't teach at CalArts anymore. And then there was, I think my third year. Well, who was my third year? I think I had two different life drawing teachers. But in one of either my fourth year or my third year, I had Mark McDougall. Thanks, Sam. Hey, Tanika, just wanted... Okay, so someone said, "Hey, Tanika, we just wanted to come by, say hi. I'm an international student who just started classes this fall in the U.S., and your videos are a huge inspiration and help." Thank you so much. Thanks so much for the kind words. And it's good to see another fellow international, strut through the struggles of being an alien in this country. I should do just an improv animation session in one of these streams, just like animate something on the spot. Just to see if I can do it. This is not for my own personal project. This is actually for a friend who's trying to make something out of his character. So he actually did the cleanup. I did the rough animation. He cleaned up some poses and colored it. So now I'm just revisiting those drawings and making the animation just a bit more smooth when it moves. So far it's just this. I think the slow one is just a bit too tight. I might be wrong, but it's getting there. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the cell shading. I'm probably gonna have to wing it because it is fixed as a local color, not a separate layer. Okay, that TMNT storyboard video scares me. A lot of current industry requires complete animation, which is not. Well, thankfully, not every studio is looking for boards like that, but there are a lot of ego-filled board artists who say that's the only way, or just say every board artist should board like that, and I highly disagree with that. So the project that I'm kind of wrapping up, not this one, but the dragon one. Hopefully I'll be done by mid-October, and it's basically a story idea that I've had for many years, and it's my love for the Flight of Dragons, The Last Unicorn, and Escaflowne, and it's been like this isekai inspired story that I've always wanted to tackle about this brother and sister who find themselves trapped in a otherworldly world, and it's about this boy who's trying to go back home with his sister, but his sister is cursed with the body of a dragon. And during this time, as she's roaming around this world being cursed as a dragon, she starts to sort of lose sense of her humanity and her emotions. So there is sort of like a time risk, and it's an allegory for people trying to find self-love. So that's what the driving force in the story is for that. But it's really just about this brother and sister trying to survive in this fantasy world where there's this queen that's after them, who eats dragons' hearts. So, yeah. Okay, so let me see. Can connections in the industry be made online, or is it recommended to move animation hotspots like LA? I think just visiting LA and then doing sort of a summer class or whatnot, I think that's pretty good. I should have done that and taken advantage over that. But a lot of people have made connections just doing that, because a lot of the teachers who teach in those classes are already in the industry, and if you make a good impression, then it's that's a connection made. I don't know if I would look at other artists' works as a YouTube thing, but I'd love to maybe someday do peer-to-peer feedback on that, because I don't really. Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to look at other people's works for feedback if they want to let's say get into storyboarding or break into the industry. But in terms of YouTube videos, I mean, I set a goal just to make YouTube videos that are just really just reflections and journaling, more so than trying to talk about why I like a certain artist or why everyone should follow a popular artist. I personally don't want to make videos like that. LA has a lot of interesting opportunities. Yeah, living here is kind of brutal because it is expensive, and I think, moving here is only worth it if you did get a stable work here. I always find my animations be technically right, following the main principles, but still have an amateur feel to them. What's the best thing I can do to elevate my animations to look more pro? That's an interesting question, but I really think that you have to, instead of like worrying about things making it look pro, I would say just, experiment a lot, or, find ways if you need to break rules if you have to, and really just explore like very unique acting if your characters have, acting. But I know that like a lot of the things that I learned in animation wasn't just by doing assignments or just doing what the Disney animation teachers back then wanted me to do. It was also about just working on personal projects and finding my own sort of truth doing that stuff. The bots are here. I actually got a bot that was like a chain where it's like I gave up my job and I go do what's it called? I go do stocks. And then there was another bot that was like, here, I do stocks too. And then another bot came in saying, stocks saved my life. It's like they were completing each other's sentences. And I was just like, oh, fuck. Yeah, it's like the bots kind of completed each other's sentences. Or they said one half of a sentence, and the next bot would say the next half. Thanks for the kind words, by the way. All I need is my animation. Screw away all these relationships and pleasures of the flesh. Of course I listen to music when I work. I'm gonna listen to music right now. What music do I listen to? It depends. Sometimes I'm listening to let me see. Right now what's playing is Sinead O'Connor. That's what's playing on my Spotify right now. Is the practice for fully animated storyboarding is making the job of animating less creative? I guess it depends. If it's like too animated and the producers love it, then it's like, well, the animation team just has to clean it up and match it to the storyboards. But then sometimes like the storyboards themselves aren't really well spaced or animated, so it's basically just a waste. I listen to both music with lyrics or without lyrics. But I think when I write, I have to listen to music that has no lyrics because the words do sort of influence what I write. Um, yeah, I mean, for networking, I think it's good to let people know that you are available for work and just to have an online portfolio. Like, always have a place where people can find your work. I think one of the worst things, not the worst things, but one thing that I keep getting is people to send to people ask me to look at their work, but their work is listed as private, so I have to follow them, and I don't really do that. So make it public and post whatever you can that is allowed publicly. At the moment, I'm not giving any feedback, but I think I should make slots for it because I do take a lot of time doing that. Okay, I think that looks passable. I don't think I can do much with this because it's so tight. Oh yeah, because when why animators get underpaid while managers get all the profits? It's just a mismanagement of like what the budget is too. But I think it's good that like more animators are starting to stand up about that and not letting that fly. Okay, Derpy. I want to animate more. Let me just turn off this music. It's a bit loud. Okay. I want to animate more, but there's something my brain doesn't like about when it sees it's drawing almost the same thing over and over again. Is there? Um, I mean, I think what helped is like limit the amount of playback you have, so you're just focusing on just trying to get it done. And another thing is, I tend to bookmark my starting and my end frame, so I don't watch the whole thing over and over again. So I will just like bookmark a start and an end just to pay attention to that part. Okay. Do you find many job opportunities as a 2D animator using TV Paint, or should we just focus on Toon Boom or Harmony? I think it's I think it's good to know multiple programs. Um, that's just my opinion. But I think it really depends on the production. But in most cases, I just had to submit like image sequences or TIFFs. Yeah. What model of hand are what? I don't know what you mean by that question. What model of hand? Okay, so all right, so there's something I want to do a little talk here about, but so I don't want to do an even in between here because it might just feel like it floats. So what I'm gonna do is something that looks like this. So this is frame 1, and this is frame 7, right? So frame 7 1, right? So instead of putting my in between right in the middle of the spacing, I am going to put it favoring the 1. So we read the first drawing more in that short amount of time. So what I'm going to do is the blue represents my previous frame. So when I do my in between, I'm favoring the the position of where the blue lines are. So notice how it's much more overlapping the blue onion skin more so than the purples. And this will make the drawing read. The first drawing read, especially when it's only playing or showing for a brief moment. So if I just show like a glimpse of it, like you can still sense the idea or the slow out of that first drawing. It's a good way to it's great for like economic animation where you just want to deal with like limited drawing counts, and you can not fake but stylize the drawings where it does feel like it is slowing in and slowing out with just a limited amount of drawings. This is a collaboration with a friend. His name is Andy Siriano. Have I ever attended Animahen Sayon Henacion in the Philippines? I actually tried submitting my Korean Dragon to that like years ago, back in 2012, and I never heard back. So I don't think they liked it. What are areas in your artistic work that you could feel better? Is there a skill set you want to improve the most? Definitely my drawing skills. Like, I'd like to be better at drawing hands and feet, and getting better at like just all drawing, because I tend to still have a very graphic approach when it comes to drawing. Okay, I'm wondering, do you even need to sketch the keyframes before aligning them, or do you just do all the line works all at once before cleaning? Wait, hold on. I do a tie down sketch. So what that is it's still a rough sketch, but it's a lot more detailed. Don't know if I have it here, but it's basically my rough animation. Yeah, actually, I do have something. So the storyboard kind of looks like this. It's just an idea. Whoops, let me play the whole thing. It's just like sort an animatic. And then what I would do is I would revisit these drawings and actually make them a lot more tied down. So some of these drawings are my friend Andy's. So this is Andy's drawing. This is Andy's. You can I think if I flip them slowly, it's like you can tell which parts become my drawings and which parts are his. That's his drawing, and those are mine. Mine's a lot more like crappier and angular. His is better. So this is like the rough. And then I think this is his cleanups, his first initial cleanups. and there were some problems, so we had to redo it. So now it's this. But there is color, so I'm going to turn that on. So I have to make a bunch of this stuff smoother. So I can just turn off that. There we go. Thanks so much for the kind words. Oh yeah, I do use TV Paint. I should go back into animating in Harmony sometime. I'm going to be here for, let me see. So I think I'm going to keep working on this particular project for maybe 15 or 20 more minutes. And then I'm going to do some low-key answering questions and doing some Q&A before I wrap up. I should do more just drawing streams. Just drawing. Yeah, animation, there is a certain level of madness. Why am I drawing these many drawings that's only gonna appear for a few seconds? Crazy, right? But here I am. Maybe AI one day could fix this for me, instead of having to do all these in-betweens. I'm sure there's already apps for in-betweening. I'm just too lazy to find it right now. Or I'm just too lazy to experiment with it. Actually, I should turn off aliasing for this one, I think. Yeah, just so that it's a bit rougher and it's going to make coloring easier. Everyone keeps asking me if I've seen Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I'll watch it. I haven't seen it yet. I heard good things about it, so it could be really cool to see it. I just finished Sandman. I really like that one. But I'll check that one out soon. I don't think I've dropped animation projects in midway because the client underestimated how expensive and time-consuming animation is. I think when I stated my budget, they already said, "Oh, I'm too cheap. I can't do it." And I'm just like, "Okay, cool." I don't think I gotten do it for free offers in such a long time, but I've always, I mean, I've gotten like, hey, I'd like to do some, I'd like, there's no money involved, but we're gonna pay you once we actually get something back. I don't really respond to those. I think when I was younger, I got like, hey, this is a volunteer project and we think you're the right fit. And then because it was free, I tried asking if I could do stuff like make tutorial videos I can sell out of it. And they're like, no, let's not do that, or it's not appropriate. And I just stopped responding. Okay, so I think I'm done in between the first part. So I'm going to move forward with this stuff. Okay, so this is, I think, that's going to be slow in, meaning that it's going to accelerate. So it's going to go like that. Cool. Oh man, I'd have to make a list of scummy clients, but I don't think I've had a lot of that. I've only most of my clients have really just been like studio work, because they're straightforward. They understand the business, and it's not really just a person. Okay, wait. There's some pretty interesting questions. So Pari's asking, does work you did for international projects before studying the U.S. and experience as teaching at college level help with? Yeah, I think like doing that, participating in like exhibitions or cons, and showing that evidence that you are a part of it, like an artist alley or talking at a panel, it's good for it's good for building your case, for sure, 100p. I mean, the reason why I talked a lot in places like CTN was because of God damn it, bot, was because of doing like talks and panels, and then I used that as my evidence to apply for the EB1. Oh, the drawing breaks form here. Shit, I just realized that. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna improvise it. That's the thing I like about Inbetweening. Oh, it's actually common sense here in LA because there's a lot of internationals trying to get permanent living. So it is something that has been talked a lot about here, but not online. And because not a lot of people, there's not a lot of internationals talking about it online. I think I'm like one of the only few that has, but things do change. What is my experience with Lightbox Expo? I'm actually doing a talk on Sunday for that. Sorry, I got a message. But yeah, I do like Lightbox. I like it better compared to CTN. Yeah, I don't know. I need to see the CTN Expo list, so I'm gonna load that up. Taking a break, just seeing the Expo, Lightbox Expo. Who's talking? What's happening? Let me see the schedule. So, camo. Oh no, that's 2021. Okay, hold on. Lightbox 2022 panels. Okay, let's see. I think I'm on Sunday. I'm speaking on Sunday at like 10 a.m., which is pretty early for me. Okay. How do I load the schedule for this? It's so confusing. Nope. Schedule about. Nope, that's not it. Who are these people? I don't know. Ah. Okay, sorry. I'll look it up sometime. But yeah, there is a schedule. I need to see who I think some friends of mine are like doing talks. Like I know Violaine is doing a talk on pitching a show. Who else do I know that's doing a panel at CTN? I wonder if they have another YouTuber panel. So I'm pretty sure someone like Ethan is gonna talk there. I don't know if Laura Price is gonna talk there. Upcoming expos. Okay, Lightbox 2022. Okay, visit the show site. Okay, and then I'm just looking up what the schedule is. Schedule. Okay. And I'll look at it later. It looks like a big juicy schedule, so I don't want to like not work on this and just look at schedules. I can do that in my own time. You know what's crazy? I think I don't have the timing charts for these anymore, but I can kind of I think about it instinctively. I should probably remake that video sometime. Just seeing if I could make a much more straightforward version of that video. Yeah, 6 years, Jesus. I feel like it's older than that, but 6 years, dang. Okay, it's changing form a bit, but well, we can leave it as is. ever be interested in doing a speaker event for a college art club? Maybe. I mean, I've done a few of those. It's just like trying to make sure my schedule fits with it, you know? Might be open to it. No, I have not made a video on how to quote an animation project. Maybe low key about how I do go about it, but like quoting as in like just how I get paid for it or how I state that. Because I did a bit. There's a video on it for sure where I talk about this is how I think about my minimum, or this is how many I do it by hours. Oh my god, just that first part took me forever. Okay, I'm gonna in between that bit. Gonna do the same treatment. Favor the blue line, so. Is there anything that I would do differently on a project? I would. I don't know. I think I would have like really fleshed out the boarding more and the script more, because I kind of just like did shots first and then realized, oh shit, maybe I can cobble a trailer out of this, and that's what I did. Made a new animatic based off it, but I think I'm happy with where it is right now because it's at a passable state. It's not what I envisioned of how I would have wanted to just part with that project, but I think it's just time for me to let go of it because I started it years ago and then I would cancel it because I felt like I wasn't happy with it. I would come back to it, cancel it, come back to it, redo some stuff, and then cancel it. So now I'm just saying, you know what? Forget. It's time to just stop thinking about trying to make this thing good or perfect. It's just the matter of finishing at this point. And I think that's all I needed. Just something to finish, and then I can use that to hopefully build a world or have a support for a comic. Okay, am I a top pegger or a bottom pegger? Oh my. I would say, in terms of peg bars, I would say I'm a bottom. I think it's just easier for me to flip that way without hurting my back too much. But I don't think it's a magnum opus. I think it's just like, well, this is something that's there. I'm not really like thinking, yeah, this is going to be my big one, because it really just is another proof of concept, a trailer. It's not really like a short film. Yeah, thank God this isn't Twitch. You guys would have clipped that and then used that against me. Terrible people, terrible. Thank God I don't have Twitch. I still don't quite understand what does drawing on ones and twos. When drawing on twos, doesn't that mean having 2 frames before the same drawing, or nah? Basically ones and twos, that basically means how many frames a drawing holds for. So these, if you look at my timeline on the bottom, most of these drawings are on twos, meaning each drawing holds for 2 frames, and then these are threes. So these drawings hold for 3 frames, and they're good for like things like slowing down or economic animation. Oh, the tour box. Yeah, I said something like, it's like rotating these dials. They're pretty sensitive, sensitive like my nipples. I remember just like spouting them. Like, why did I do that? I thought I was being pretty jokes, but I tend to be pretty chaotic and I improvise on the spot. So, eh. These lines aren't clean and they're pretty wiggly and wobbly. I'm not the best resource for cleanup, letting you guys know, but I am trying to do a passable version of it. Do I do warm-up drawings? Or do you get myself in the mood of drawing? Sometimes I'll just like doodle, like just sketch. So some great like warm-up exercises that I do is when I get coffee or when I go to lunch, I bring a sketchbook with me all the time and just like draw people. And I'm not just doing it just to like get better at my craft, but it really is for my mental health. Like I get so distracted by thinking about the future a lot and I overthink about that stuff. So, sketching people around me is great for my mental health because it locks me back up to the present and I look at my phone less doing that. And I'm filling out a sketchbook. That's pretty fucking wild. But I know like some people like at work. So I work on an action show and there's a board artist that basically grabs pictures and just traces on top of those just to get the muscle memory all warmed up. Like he'll just like trace over models, over model sheets, just so that like the muscle memory of drawing shapes is there. So when he does draw like the actual figures, it's all by memory now or muscle memory. Would I consider making a storyboarding workshop or course? I'd love to teach storyboarding. I've done it in the past. I probably would make another video package for storyboarding alone. But I do really enjoy like teaching live and talking about it live. I do enjoy that aspect. And if I do make a storyboarding one, it's definitely going to be much cheaper than the animation one because there's not much I can talk about storyboarding. Best adult dating site. Oh my. How convenient is taking online courses and paying for it? Does it actually open up more doors versus learning for free from YouTube tutorials? I guess it depends on the online course, but when I teach online, I love to give one-on-one feedback and do like draw overs and stuff like that because I really appreciated that when I was learning how to animate. I think like paying for a course, it's like it's an incentive saying, okay, shit, I have to now pay for a class, so I'm gonna take it seriously. Whereas for free, it's like you can go back to it anytime and there's no real urgency for it. That's just my relationship with it when I think about paying for stuff. Whatever your money's worth. If I would say like look for courses that do offer one-on-one feedback if you can. But if it's like video course where you're getting like hours of recorded videos, then that's a whole different story like I did. But if you're like looking for like a live class session with an actual teacher, one-on-one feedback is pretty good. I do not know a school called Idea Academy. That's neat. I've never heard of it. Wait, no, I have heard of it. It's in the Philippines. I don't know too much about it, but I've heard of it. Oh yeah, that's true. It's a network formed if you're doing really well in that class. What the hell's going on here? It's gonna happen okay. Let me see what time it is. So maybe I'll stick around for 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to start wrapping up. You know, dope sheets aren't really that bad. They're just a vertical timeline. I know, like, when I did some stuff for paper animation, they really wanted my dope sheets when I forgot to fill them out. But I think they're great for, like, It's basically just a traditional timeline. If you don't have a computer, it just keeps reference of, like, oh, here are your frames. Here's how many frames your drawings can hold for. It's just there to keep track of that stuff. Oh, I think I don't know. There's a bot. Oh, right, the adult chatting bot. Oh yeah, Acme punches are getting really expensive because they're becoming rare. Okay. Hi, Taniko. I would want to get into 2D animation, but really suck at drawing. Could kindly suggest about how to get started from absolute scratch? I would say just harness your drawing skills, like go to life drawing classes and stuff. I know it's a generic answer, but it is a generic question about how do I start animation from scratch, or how do I start learning about it? And if drawing is one of the main issues, then I would say attend drawing classes. Life drawing, observational drawings, bring a sketchbook with you, and just draw people around you. Maybe I'll finish in between this section. Then I'll call it wraps. Don't know if I can do it under 10 minutes, but let's give it a shot. Holy shit, it's 2:51 a.m.? Dear Lord. Oh, Lord. Sometimes I don't draw every day. Sometimes I'm doing other things like writing or doing something else, but I think I'm not the type of person who says draw every day, because I don't really believe in the grind aspect of learning how to draw. And I think people take drawing every day wrong. Like if they miss a day, they suddenly become ashamed about it. I would say just like draw with a purpose. But yeah, I don't really think about drawing every day. some of this I can't really salvage because it's really, I'm really just like trying to accommodate to the existing cleanup. Even though I do want to clean some shapes or fix some shapes, I don't think I can. The first animation that I want to do is a dragon transformation like that you did a few years ago. I mean, that was a really challenging one, but that also like embodied a lot of it wasn't just like my first animation. I mean, I've done like character acting and some effects animations, so that helped me in that regard. But maybe we should animate another transformation on stream one day. Is it possible to work in the U.S. as an without a degree too? You can definitely, but I think only some visas allow that, like the O1 visa. So that requires you to have experience in the industry already. It could be from overseas. You could be an overseas freelancer, or and have like a prolific record on that. But I think for a standard work visa, you do need a degree. Later. A degree does help. Let me see what that color looks like. Okay, that is there. Does the school you choose make a big difference? I'm going to a small one because of a financial aid, and I am a bit worried there's not notable alumni in animation. So what you can do instead of do do a degree is also look into workshop style schools like Concept Design Academy, CGMA, Nomon Workshop. I guess there's also Project City, which is Rad Seacrest's online platform. I used to teach there. I'm not teaching there right now, but I mean, I think there are students who are taking advantage of that, and they do have their own story sprint. So I think that's worth looking into because animation, you don't really, you don't need a degree to work in it. But it is a different story for international students where it is it's required by law for, to qualify for certain visas. So I don't want to just say, no, you don't need a degree, but it depends on the circumstance. In terms of like getting the skills and work in animation, no, you don't need a degree. But if you're an international, then that's a whole different story. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do like maybe 3 more drawings. Does the degree have to be in the U.S. or can I get a degree in my country too? If you're talking about the Philippines, I'm not really sure, but I know like European countries are fine, but I guess it really depends for Philippine schools because so in Philippine schools they do skip out 11th and 12th grade. Yeah, I don't want to. I It's something that you have to confirm. Okay, that's gonna. Yeah, I heard about that. I know. Well, yeah. I mean, I was already done with high school by that year. So I think it should be okay then, right? That's good to know. I didn't know about the change. Um, so the tablet I'm using is a Cintiq 22 HD. I've had it since 2012. It works. It still works. Is the animation industry still worth getting into? Um, I mean, if you're there just to experience the animation industry, yeah. If you like animation, then yeah. Um, but if you're saying it's not worth it, then maybe have doubts. I think it's worth it. Which countries do I recommend for animation job opportunities? If I think if you're looking for something that's way cheaper than America, definitely Europe and Canada. Okay. I know it's not. I know this cleanup. Wait, what a second. What's happening here? Oh no, that's not my. So there's a snap here. So I'm gonna fix that, but I can't do anything here because that's not my cleanup. But I will change this. So there is a bit of that transition. But at the end of the day, there's not much I can do about this one. So it's gonna stay there. This is actually friend's cleanup that I'm just fully in between. I did the rough animation for it, but the cleanup, that's his. So it really is a collaborative effort. It's gonna go like this. Yes, sirree. I need the name of the independent animation workshop you talked about earlier. The independent animation workshop. So there's, I'm just gonna put it into chat. Concept Design Academy, Project City's one of them. So these are just like, they're taught for a few sessions. I'm currently using Clip Studio Paint. Would you suggest me to change to Adobe Animate? Well, if there are studios that do require you to use Adobe Animate, then maybe it's worth learning. But in all honesty, I think Clip Studio, CS, and Harmony, Toon Boom Harmony, they're much more worth it. There's not much I can do to fix some of these in-betweens. Let me see how this looks like. I don't think he'd mind if I change the orientation of... Wait a second. No, I'll keep the nose there. I can't really... I can't change those original drawings, but... yeah. So some of them I just can't really fix. These in-betweens are so rushed. This is TV Paint, what I'm working on. As far as software questions go, like which one you should use, I can't really answer that question unless it is required that you are looking for work that does use that. Because some people still use Adobe Animate for work. It's fine. I might actually go back to Adobe Animate for certain projects because I used it for many years in the past. I don't think this cleanup is turning out, or this in-between is turning out good in my opinion. But, I'm just trying to work with whatever is improvising shapes. Maybe I'll make one more drawing just so that I can use that as reference. So when I do come back to this. I don't think it. I'm just gonna live with it. It's fine. Those are my draw overs. Okay. What's my thought on blender grease? I keep getting asked that one. What's my thought on blender grease pencil? It's I made like 2 videos on that already. Thanks for the kind words. I'm trying to make an animated music video. What tips should I keep in mind? There's so many tips I can give you. I don't know. I guess know what the music. I really don't know what exactly you're looking for in terms of like what to keep in mind. The music and the beats, sure. Knowing if it's like lip sync music or not, that's another thing. Have I seen the Puss in Boots 2 trailer? I worked on a version of that film back in 2014. I think I've made a few After Effects tutorials already. I've made a handful of them actually. The most recent one I think is called Polishing the Poo Poo. I started on this. Well, the thing is that like it was a back and forth collaboration with a friend. Like I did some of the rough animation, the planning, and he did the cleanup. And right now I'm just like adding more drawings just so the drawings are a bit more smooth. How are special effects animated to be implemented with your 2D? Special effects like effects animation? Because I would just put them as separate video sequences. I mean, I did a video on that. Um, I mean, effects animation is definitely an entirely different um, topic of its own. So I'm definitely gonna have to like make a video talking about FX animation. It's not just an After Effects thing. It's literally effects animation. But I think FX animation is probably the best way to learn animation, or one of the best ways to, because it allows for experimentation. I don't think all animation has to be anatomically correct. I think if it captures the feeling and the motion, that's good enough. Because sometimes like the drawings can look really anatomically right, but it just feels so stiff and dead. I have a lot of favorite animators, so trying to answer just a few of them is hard. Besides Yutaka Nakamura, like if we're talking about second animators, there's Isa Mitsuo, Yutaka Nakamura, Hideki Hamasu, I think that's his name, Norio Matsumoto. There's a bunch. I guess I have to like I keep a list of them, but I don't really just like say, yeah, this is my all-time favorite. In terms of like Western animators, I think Rune Beneke's up there. Christoph Srend, James Baxter. I mean, I guess not just because of the skill, but also because of like how their philosophies on animation too. What is something an animator will pick up on, like geek out about when watching animation that someone unfamiliar often lets go noticed? So this is something that I absolutely hated when I was like a new student, because all the upper year levels suddenly became like these filmmakers, and every film we'd watch, they would always like criticize like how bad the filmmaking is or the animation, and it's just like, yo, it's okay to just be an audience and enjoy the film. Like, I hate this whole idea of like, anyways, that's going way beyond. But I think like when they start going like, oh, the spacing is off, or oh, the animation is losing form here. Okay, maybe I should do one more drawing. Let me see what time it is. Or, okay, I've gone overboard, but I think one more drawing will do just to complete this half, and I'll just do it in threes. How do you decide to plan whether you will draw out a camera motion in frame or static animation and implement camera? Oh, sorry, that's a mouthful. How do you decide to plan whether you will draw out camera motion in frame or static animation and implement camera? I mean, I think that's a good idea to sort of like draw frames resembling the camera moves, but I usually just know what I have in mind and just do that in After Effects. But I think it's good to like just draw out the layout of a camera move, like A, B, and C poses. No, I promise you, this is my last drawing for this bit. Promise. Cross my heart this time. Okay, what's your advice on monetizing your personal projects? So, I know when I teach, I do make a surplus amount of income, and that could be used to fund and hire people for personal projects, or just to give myself a cushioning time when I do quit my job. So there's I mean, YouTube is okay. I don't even make a lot of money on YouTube. It's really just there to like for bills like Netflix and software subscriptions, and that's how much it can pay for, really. But in terms of like dedicating my whole life to YouTube and owning YouTube, that's not worth it. There's even Patreon. I wish I was more active on Patreon. I should get back to that, but that's a good way to fund stuff. When you start, did you focus more on animation? I did start focusing more on animation first, but I think in terms of me getting a secure job, definitely storyboarding. And then I would just do animation on the side, so when there were opportunities, then I would pick those up. Do you still remember some animations you did in the past or completely forgot how it was like? I actually still have all my high school animation that I did in high school. I have to do a video of it sometime, but I just don't know how to format it. Okay, what time is it? 3:22. Okay. I don't know if I would do a remaster of old animation projects. It's just leave the past in the past, because I'm not sure. Maybe that's something that's worth exploring, but I'll have to think about it. Oh, I already have made a complete course for a video course for like beginning to the animation. Um, this is not a hobby. It's basically my living. Yeah, it's still very pencil mileagey, but it's what it is. Yeah, use a Wacom Cintiq. Thinking about feasibility of something like a one man. I think there. I mean, I only know one person who is able to do that. He's actually made a few feature films all by himself. Denver Jackson. God School. I think I've heard of that. It's crazy, yeah. Um, I mean, I do other sports. Okay, I think that's it. Wait, hold on, just one more. Yeah, just gotta film the crotch. Okay. I think that's all I'm gonna leave it as, actually. Cool. Awesome. Let me see if there's any like last thoughts. So I'm gonna give it 5 more minutes. Any last thoughts, guys, before I start wrapping up? Yeah, I'm about to head out soon. But yeah, I mean, I've also been like animating demos on the side, just like for future lectures, just a sneak peek. Like, I was trying to show an example of like one that has overlapping animation, one that doesn't I mean, they're both like decently animated, or in a way, but one has a lot more like overlapping animation where there's a lot more delay in certain things. Um, this is just an idea of like, making animation a bit more poppy, so you could have things contrast, squash, and stretch, whereas everything moves in the same wavelength or in the same direction. But then to make it pop, or you could have things contrast and pop, or squash and pop. Same with this one. It's like trying to figure out how to counterbalance some things with the squash and stretch. So, or the opposing forces. This is just like what it like one with overshoots and one without overshoots. So, just an upcoming lecture that I'll put on YouTube someday. Anyways, that's about it. Cool. I guess I'll end the stream. Thanks so much for checking out this stream. You guys have a good one. Bye.